Now, our first guest this morning is the man behind two of the most popular British characters to appear on our screens in the past few years.
He is Steven Moffat, the writer of Doctor Who and Sherlock, been hailed as one of the BBC's most important creative talents. Sherlock is now viewed in more than 180 countries, and Doctor Who has become the most downloaded television show in America this year.
Both programmes have been given prime billing on this year's Christmas TV schedule. Stephen's with us now. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Before we talk to you, let's see what the Doctor is up to this Christmas.
Stephen's here. Welcome to the programme.
Thank you. Hello.
Doctor Who at Christmas. It just feels right, doesn't it?
It's the right and proper thing. He's the ideal hero for Christmas Day. He's as close as a hero can come to actually being Santa Claus.
The Doctor, the Widow and the Wardrobe. There's a clue there as to what the inspiration might have been.
Yes, Prince Caspian, the Hobbit. No, yeah, it's there's a slight flavour of Narnia in this one. Yes, it's not the same story at all by any means. And last year we pretty much did A Christmas Carol beat for beat, but this time it's just a sort of flavouring of that, really.
Can you give us any idea of the plot?
No.
Oh, come on. Come on.
Well, the Doctor ends up in debt to someone. His life is saved by someone, and a few years later he returns to save their Christmas because they've just lost their father. These children have lost their father. Yeah. So he returns to save their Christmas. Of course, being the Doctor, he just endangers them terribly, but that's sort of what he's like.
We can say set in World War II,
yes.
And part of it certainly in a drafty old house in Dorset.
That's correct.
Okay, good. So, and we have to be very careful. I know what we give away and we don't. But also, we can tell you this. Well, you know this. You can tell everybody else this. Bill Bailey,
yes,
his guest
Bill
star.
Bailey,
Here we go. Let's have a look.
Unarmed, sir.
What the hell are you doing here?
No, wait, armed! No, unarmed. Sorry, sir, she's wearing wool, sir. The natural fabrics, they interfere with...
Please say we can tell the difference between wool and sidearms.
We can tell the difference, sir.
Can we?
Not always, sir, no.
There we go. That's a clip from the Christmas Day edition of Doctor Who. Before we move on to Sherlock, which is another big show of yours, just want to ask about the Doctor Who film that people have been talking about. Are you doing it? Who's doing it?
It's an imaginary film. That's
is it?
Oh, no, I mean, it was David Yates, a very, very brilliant director, talking off the cuff and slightly off message. We're not going to do a film of the nature that he described, which would be sort of rebooting the story and having a different Doctor and being in a different continuity. If that would never happen. That would be insane. That would be insulting to the audience. I hope one day we will do a film, maybe even soon, but it will be very much an offshoot of the television series with the same Doctor and all that.
And you doing it?
Yes.
We always have these. I remember we used to do this with Russell T as well. You know what you can say and what you can't say.
Yes.
But the future of certain characters in Doctor Who is said to be in question.
Well, it's not in question. I mean, it's a fact that Arthur Darvill and Karen Gillan, who play Amy and Rory, are leaving. They're leaving next series.
There you go.
I said this days ago. It's all over the papers.
Well, but you can't believe what you read in the papers necessarily. So they're going.
Or me, actually. I lie all the time.
Under what circumstances?
I'm not telling you.
Oh,
I mean, it will break your heart.
It will break your heart?
Yeah.
OK. Will there be a chance of them returning or not?
Well, that would depend on the circumstances of their leaving.
Oh, stop it. Honestly, it is like talking to Russell T.
Pulling teeth.
Yeah.
And
Karen, actually, when she was last on the programme, couldn't get a thing out of her. We can talk about the new series of Sherlock, which we saw the first episode last night. We're going to have a look at a clip, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go.
Almost everything.
From one look.
It is such... I can't tell you how much the heart lifts, because we watched the preview episode of that one last night, got halfway through at least, and it's just so... clever. How do you get to be so clever?
Well, thank you. I don't know. Well, by sticking to the original stories in a way. I mean, the brilliant principles of Sherlock Holmes are all in the original stories, and in a way, Mark Gatiss and I, have been more faithful than most people who do Sherlock Holmes, even though we've transposed it to the modern day. It's actually quite a faithful version of Sherlock Holmes, and cleverness is his superpower. I mean, you know, he doesn't fly, he's not super strong or anything. What he's got is the fact he can look at somebody and tell everything about them. People like clever.
Yes, but how faithful is it to the original?
Well, I mean, the details of the stories, I mean, the stories are about, 20 pages long, and we've got 90 minutes to fill. So we don't stay close to the detail. It's more like staying close to the principles of the storytelling. The way in which Arthur Conan Doyle told those stories, and the characters of the two men are very close.
And a bit of love, interest.
Well, is he love? I mean, it's a weird. It's sort of two magnificent predators circling each other in dark and terrible fascination. I think I'm not sure we call it. We keep calling it an unloved story, but it's more complex than that. They're fascinated by each other. Sherlock and Irene Adler, whom you're referring to.
Oh, this is the dominatrix in the first show that we see. Okay, and each of 90-minute episodes is just one episode. It doesn't follow on really, does it? It's just
there are threads that run throughout it. I mean, Moriarty will run throughout it and have a battle royale with Sherlock in the third of the films.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. There's a big in the Reichenbach Fall. There's a big sort of battle between Sherlock and Moriarty. In the second one, we've got Hound of the Baskervilles, our version of Hound of the Baskervilles. So
which begs a question about the third episode, because in the original Conan Doyle story, there's that little. They have, I think it's a fight on the mountain path, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
And then they disappear, and there was such an outcry that Conan Doyle had to bring Sherlock Holmes back. Now, obviously, you don't want to give anything away here, but to what extent do you think you have the freedom to bend the storyline?
Oh, complete freedom. We do. It's like telling the story again, so there's no guarantee we'll bring him back.
No. Oh, he's such a tease.
Well, you'll have to watch it, won't you? That's the idea.
Oh, definitely.
So absolutely. 3 90-minute episodes, and then what happens after that? I mean, are you writing new
Depends
ones?
whether he survives or not, and I can't possibly divulge that.
Oh, you're not going to kill. You're not going to kill the golden goose, Stephen, surely.
Oh, well, maybe golden geese taste nice. I don't know.
All right, Stephen.
We look forward to it.
Yeah, it's impossible doing interviews with people who are associated with Doctor Who, certainly, because you just never get anything out of them, or just the merest fragments.
Well, it makes you want to watch the show.
Certainly does,
Okay.
Steve. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for joining us again.
I'm glad he's not
Stephen
writing
Moffat.
the news on this programme.